Welcome, Questers, to the first ever Questward Fallout tabletop role-playing game actual play podcast. And at this point, guys, I've got general cheering written down. Okay, yeah, I think that qualifies. And I love you! So, the Fallout tabletop role-playing game is set in everyone's favorite post-apocalyptia, made famous by those darn developers over at Bethesda. The Fallout RPG reached our hot little digital hands thanks to its makers, Modifius Entertainment. Thank you. Today, we will be kicking off the in-core book adventure titled With a Bang or a Whimper. Now, if you, listener, want a chance to win this massive 400-page 2d20 rule set, well, you'll just have to keep listening, because I don't know how you'll win that, but I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point.
We'll put it in post.
Perfect. As always, thanks for supporting us at Questward. Please join the conversation about the podcast and miniatures and Warhammer and DMing, all being discussed on our Discord. An extra special thank you to everyone supporting us via our Patreon. Please, please, please check it out. And now, let's hear that theme song. Okay. Please fix that.
Boop, boop.
Who's editing this one?
I'm editing this one.
Okay, good luck, Dave.
Shit's staying in.
Yeah, if I know Dave's editing something, I'm like, I don't do that shit. He leaves it in.
Just flat no.
Yeah.
Guys, why not say hello? Our players today are David Dryden.
Hey, what's going on? It's me, David Dryden.
Which is precisely how you talk all the time.
Hello.
That's a totally normal human interaction.
Yeah. Sounds legit. We also have Nico Strombolopoulos.
What?
Good to see you. Franco Jr., Senior.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
All right, just full on rolled with it. And Dylan McDermott. I realized I didn't know any of your last names except for David, so I just rolled with it.
McDermott? Matt Dillon?
Correct.
Bob Dylan?
Dylan
Just
McDermott
say hi and let's move on.
Okay,
Hello, I'm Dylan.
perfect. War never changes. In 2077, in the span of just 2 short hours, the bombs and missiles fell. Earth would never be the same. Now, 210 years later, the creatures who are left fight a difficult battle simply to survive in a landscape that will never fully recover from the scars of conflict. Life as we knew it is a distant memory, experienced only through pre-war music, cereal boxes, and Blamco mac and cheese. But while those stories and this one are unique, well, war never changes. So, the setting of our adventure, guys, is Walton's Crossing. Walton's Crossing is a veritable paradise in the vast wasteland located in the post-apocalyptic east-central United States, the area around real-life Boston. And in our story, this area is known as the quote-unquote Commonwealth. If you're familiar with Fallout 4, this is that place. Now, your group, you 4 PCs, are a varied and colorful collection of wasteland survivors, and you've all made your way to Walton's Crossing from very different starting points, probably for different reasons. But you all have one thing in common. You are the only members of Walton's Crossing's militia. Now, what makes Walton's Crossing so special, other than its diligent and attractive militia? That would be the GECK, G-E-C-K, or Garden of Eden Creation Kit. Now, this is a powerful pre-war technology. It's like I was surprised to learn that it's basically the size of a suitcase. And it can transform dead soil and contamination so that those things can sustain healthy plant life and even potable water, 2 of the rarest and most prized resources anywhere in the Commonwealth, probably anywhere in the world. Now, the makers of the GECK, they never intended for it to be used at the scale found in our new world, but still, poorly understood though it is, overtaxed though it is, the GECK in Walton's Crossing provides a certain level of greenery, clean water, and power that is practically unheard of elsewhere in the Commonwealth. It has been 1 year to the day since Mayor Jesse Pettigrew led the founding of Walton's Crossing. Walton's Crossing, by the way, named for one of the other founding members of the community who has since passed on. Also, maybe for somebody else we care very much about in our community here at Questward. The settlement is abuzz with a celebration heretofore known as Founding Day. That's the celebration that's happening right now today. Why don't each of you tell me what you're doing to celebrate Founding Day?
It's just 4 of us in the militia. It's just 4.
Yep.
Just 4 people.
Yep.
All right. No, that's
Cool.
All right. We only need 4. That should
We'll
be
make
enough.
force feel like 100, Franco.
That's right.
It's a small community.
I'll start off. Yeah. So, Geraldine, I think knowing that there's always a need of.
Unfortunately, your celebrations are cut a little short, David. As the mayor, Jessie Pettigrew, a dark-skinned woman who peppers her sentences with affectations of the quote-unquote Wild West, tasks the 4 of you to check in on Teresa and Joseph's Tarberry Farm, just on the western edge of town. And if you guys are looking at the map of Walton's Crossing, you can see it over there on the left-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor Jessie, as I mentioned, she gathers the 4 of you together and she says, "We haven't seen hide nor hair of them for a couple of days." Oh, I'm losing it already. And I expected them to be here for today's festivities. Oh, I'm getting Southern Belle now. This is great.
I love this. Yeah.
Mind checking in on them? And please keep it under your hats. And then, of course, she sprints away at top speed. No questions. So now, here's the scene, guys. We're finally getting to the scene. You guys will play soon, I promise. So now, as the sunset paints the sky a vivid pink and orange, as the early winter chill begins to set in, the Walton's Crossing militia stands just outside Joseph and Teresa's farmhouse. The lights are off, everything is still, and the front door is ajar. Why don't each of you roll me a perception survival test to see what else you might notice? We'll go one at a time. We'll start with the highest rolls because, as we all know, you want to get low rolls because you want to get under your target numbers, and then we'll go down from there. Go ahead and do those rolls. I'll switch the map so you guys can see the farm.
Perception survival. Okay. Why, Isaac, how do attributes and skill checks work in this game?
Yes,
That's
please.
a really good question, Nico. Please correct
Screw
me
off, huh?
when I'm get out of my campaign.
Back off.
Okay, so this is the 2d20 system. So we will be rolling at least 2d20s for this test. Now, what you guys are going to do is add up your perception stat and your survival skill. Add those numbers together, and you're going to come to your TN, your target number. Then, assuming you're happy just rolling 2 dice, though you could spend AP should you so choose, action points, but let's get into that later. If you're happy with rolling 2 dice, you roll them up, and you have to get under your target number for a success. And if you get more than 1 success, you're going to bank more action points.
Cool.
Now, kind of benevolent GM, what happens if we roll a 20?
Oh, you fucker. If you roll a 20, we're going to introduce a complication.
Okay.
So not only are you going to fail that test, something is going to get more interesting. If I can come up with something quickly on the fly, we'll use that. If not, I'll go to you guys. And if we can't come up to something, we'll ignore the complication, but I will bank an action point for use
Okay.
against you later.
No!
Oh, no.
All right. Well,
Okay.
let me roll here.
So who's got high numbers?
I
Did
do.
anyone fail both?
I did.
Great.
Oh, no.
Geraldine, why don't we start with you? So again,
Okay.
the scene in front of us is the Tarberry Farm. It is dusk. There are few crickets and such, thankfully, because most of them are irradiated beyond all hell and would come eat you. So it is very calm. But even so, it's a little bit too peaceful. The farmhouse is completely silent. The lights are off, and we do have power throughout Walton's Crossing. So at this time of night, that is quite unusual. The door is slightly ajar, and as Mayor Jessie mentioned in her smooth, velvety tones of indeterminate origin, she did expect to see Joseph and Teresa today, and she did not. What does Geraldine see other than the farmhouse? Actually, that's not the question I want to ask you. I'll tell you what you see. You see the farmhouse, you see the farm, you see back in the distance, probably about 100 feet away, their fair-sized barn. You see the door is ajar. What does Geraldine look like? What do we see when we look at her, and what is her state?
Yeah, sure. So Geraldine is a ghoul, which is a human that has been horribly irradiated in the Wasteland for undeterminable amounts of time. So she's wearing formal attire mostly. She's got like this big kind of hat that swoops down diagonally across. She's wearing a oddly vivid set of hair on her head that kind of comes down around her shoulders, and she's wearing like a white checker dress shirt that is buttoned up to the top. She's wearing like a red kind of waistband and long black trousers. And she's got a a pipe gun on her hip and a spiked rolling pin slung over her back.
Is that a modified rolling pin for real?
It is.
I
yeah.
love it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah,
Nice.
the fact that you can take the most mundane stuff and then modify them is a nice
Yeah.
touch. So what is her bearing as she looks out over the scene?
Her bearing?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like where is she looking?
What's her expression? And is she saying anything, muttering, or none of the above?
I think, honestly, all things considered, I think she had big plans to kind of like make her way through the festival. And I think she's just kind of like a little bit grumpy about that, not really paying too close attention as to this new duty at the moment.
Well, you should have thought of that before making me the DM. Let's move on. Did anyone else also fail both of their rolls? Okay, one success. Oh, so the rest of you got 2 successes?
I got 2 successes.
Believe it or not.
All right, that's rad. I will have more information for you. I'm going to go clockwise on my screen. Nico.
Hello.
Nico, please introduce Edmund.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Edmund's just kind of this. It's just this kind of. He's a dude. It's just a guy.
So vivid.
It's just there's
He looks
nothing
like a
really
man.
to. He just looks like an older dude. He's not really like happy to be here. He's also not really happy to be at the festival. But he's got like a bit of like he's got like a point, kind of like a pointed face, not pointy, like a pointed face. He's kind of darting his eyes around, and he's more than anything at this point, he's taking a look at like the door and trying to figure out what exactly happened. What he's looking at specifically are footprints, and he's trying to take a look at trying to figure out what exactly is going on with the footprints, and he's kind of half muttering to himself.
What is he wearing?
He is wearing just a mishmash of leathers and other he's wearing like a pair of like old denim, like definitely haven't been like raw denim that has been washed in more than the amount you're supposed to wash. And other than that, just kind of piecemealed armor. He's got I think he's got, what does he have? A leather armor? Yeah, he's got like a leather chest armor made out of like old cowhide. And like a little hat.
Nice.
But,
so I forgot to mention this earlier.
A little hat.
A tiny little hat. Yeah, we're going to have a number of hat sizes in this campaign, I can tell. It'll be hat-based. So I forgot to set the difficulty here. The difficulty was only 1. So if we've got multiple double successes, that means that we've banked technically 3 action points. But as we've since learned, you guys started with 1 action point per character, and you can only bank up to 6 total as a party. So that means you guys are up to 6 based on your guys' rolls this early in the campaign.
Well, we got to
Time
spend
for
those.
all of the DCs to ratchet way up, says I. Regardless, Dylan, on my screen, would you mind introducing your character?
Yeah, so my character is Poppy Jones. She
I love that.
She
Papa Jones.
Poppy Jones. That's not her voice.
I think it is.
It is now.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, wish me luck. Poppy Jones, she was a vault dweller. Right now she's wearing her vault jumpsuit, but it's undone. Like she's got a t-shirt on underneath and it's just hanging off at the waist, and she's wearing a lab coat. It's she's very, very clean, but you can tell these clothes are very, very well worn. She's tallish, almost 6 foot, very lanky, eternally gaunt. Like she just hasn't eaten a lot in her life. And she's got a crew cut, like dirty blonde hair, crew cut, blue eyes. And she was wanting to put up like banners and streamers for the whole festival and celebration, and was rudely interrupted, and still kind of tried to continue putting up banners and streamers until she was forced to pay attention.
I'm sorry, the mayor, she gathered you guys together, held you for roughly 10 hours, and then told you what you wanted you to do. No festivities for you guys all day long, I'm sorry.
Aw.
Yeah, it's a rough
Poppy
founder's day.
starts to cry.
Success! I've already done what I set out to do. Is Poppy looking anywhere in particular with her 2 successes?
No.
Okay, heard. Poppy closes her eyes. Everything's fine. Franco, mutant, super, Larry. I don't know your character's name anymore. Tell us about him.
I don't actually know what you're talking about. I think you're just talking about my human character, Roger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, like, amongst these fine folks stands a completely normal human. He is 7.5 feet tall, green skin, dressed in nice casual clothing. He's got a button up on, and a pair of spectacles. and his lips are curled back in a permanent snarl.
If you were to compare him to any Marvel character, is there one that maybe stands out more than others?
Clark Kent, right?
Yeah, let's go with that one. No, I can't. I can't really. No, just probably some of the innocent bystanders on the street in like most of the Avengers films. Yeah. And he
just now a button straining against your girth for some reason inexplicably flies off into the night. But I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh no, button, come back!
Oh, we got a snort out of Dylan. That was quick.
That's it.
Awesome.
We can call it. All right, bye-bye.
Visualizing it. Fuck.
Dylan, you had a question?
No, I was I was hoping his spectacles were like so small that like they permanently dig into the side of his head.
They do,
like
yeah. His head is giant.
Their spectacles are just squeezing his massive, not mutant but human face.
Well, his head is normal size. It's just the spectacles are very small.
Yeah, absolutely.
His head on his. Okay.
Oh God.
Sorry, shut up. I'm derailing.
No, it's fine. Our theater of the mind is derailing itself, I think. Sorry, what's the normal character human's name again?
Roger.
Whoa, why are you yelling that? You yell that into the night. Roger, is Roger looking anywhere in particular with his 2 successes?
Yeah, he's probably got his mouth agape, just looking around. He probably sees this door kind of ajar. He's kind of looking out into the fields to see what's going on.
Oh, there's my button.
Just permanently mouth breathing, just like.
Roger, with your completely normal body and eyes and spectacles, you notice a small creature moving around the outside of the farmhouse, just on the other side. You just catch it for a moment. It's probably a couple of feet long at most, definitely 4-legged, and it disappears around the corner real fast.
Anyone else see dog? He points in a direction that he saw this animal.
Nobody else sees a dog.
Well, what do you guys reckon happened here? That's strange that they haven't shown up. I can't tell. I don't know.
Edmund, you stop yourself in the middle of your conversation and you hold up a hand and everyone goes very quiet and you hear what sounds unmistakably like it's a very small sound. It's coming from inside the house. It's coming from the left side of the house, if you're facing it the way you are there. Through the ajar door, it sounds a little bit like a drip.
Okay, it's not a baby, right?
Correct. No babies here.
Okay,
No
thank
babies
God.
here.
Yet.
I have trauma.
And then another drip. And then another drip.
There's a drip sound.
It's very quiet. If everyone else is being completely quiet, if like Roger's breathing nearly drowns it out, but you have caught it.
Roger, why you breathe so loud?
I think Geraldine like holds a hand, reaches up as far as she can to cup Roger's mouth.
You put your hand roughly halfway over his mouth, and the rest is completely open anyway. I assume he just continues breathing.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not unfazed by it.
Roger, dear, please just give us a moment. Okay, it's dripping.
Someone's toilet's running. Oh, that was almost worse. You gotta go catch it.
Hi.
It's a joke.
So who does what?
Hey, Roger, why don't you go chase that dog? Run up to the door and see if you hear anything.
It was just around the corner of the house. Actually, it disappeared around the house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he goes. He does. He
I'm looking at the map.
Off around the corner.
Feel free to move yourself wherever it is you're moving.
It was around the corner here that I'm supposed to go.
That'll work actually.
So I swing around the right side of the house.
You walk around the side of the house. I don't know how sneaky you are. It doesn't seem like you're being very sneaky, and that's okay. You basically lumber around the side of the house. You notice as you go past a window here that in fact it is just as dark on the inside. You don't notice anything too unusual. Plus it's very dark. You can't really see. As you get to the corner of the house, you look around. And there is, in fact, something right here, just out of sight, around this little jog in the house. And it seems to be grunting a little bit. It's almost like the way you breathe, but a little bit different.
Could be a pig. Could be supper.
Yeah, Roger's definitely gonna go check out that puppy.
Okay. So go and feel free to walk yourself over. The other three of you, Roger's disappearing around the corner. He peeks and then he goes around the corner. What do you guys do?
Geraldine is going to unholster her pipe gun and walk up to the house and look behind. As she's walking, she kind of looks over her shoulder like,
well, we going in?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Do you want to go on the right? I'll go on the left.
Yeah, let's slice the pie.
Oh, all right. Sounds good.
Poppy just stands there with her baton.
Hey, Poppy, why don't you come with me, eh? Come on. Geraldine's fine. I'm gonna walk over to the left side here, and I'm going to be taking out my machete rather than my hunting rifle.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Okay, so you're standing right in front of the slightly ajar door. By ajar, I really do mean like we were talking, 3, maybe 4 inches total. You peer into the darkness beyond, and there's very little to see because it is so dark. But because you're looking for it and paying attention, you do see what is unmistakably something. What may once have been a little bit wet, just on the inside of the door here on the floor. It's very dark; it's hard to tell, but it's definitely not water. It's viscous. Meanwhile, back behind the house, mutant, Roger the normal human.
Thank you.
It is indeed a doggy. It is Gabe the Shrug, which is a one-eyed mutated pug. So pugs in our real world, as we all know, they're so ugly that they're cute, right? Well, Shrugs have gone all the way around that cycle, and they're back to just ugly. But having said that,
so cute, he's ugly.
So cute.
This is to go even further beyond.
Oh my god, he precious, come puppy.
Gabe sees you and for just pauses from his incessant grunting for just a moment, and then leaps towards you. Obviously for your throat. No, he definitely wants attention from you. And love.
It's super mutant. I mean, Roger reciprocates in kind.
Okay, so so you're both rolling around on the ground together and loving each other. You can see in the back here, and you know what? What I'll do is I'll reveal a thing or two. Here.
I love that token. Just to describe it, it looks like just a photograph of a pug. Yeah.
If you zoom in, you'll notice that it is one-eyed.
Oh,
that's adorable and sad.
Oh, it is. Oh, look at his little
boy.
wrinkly face.
So I'm just showing you
That's
guys
cute.
all doors on each side of the building.
Mhm.
You guys hear from the back of the house where Roger disappeared, joyful, normal human wrestling sounds, I suppose.
Frolicking, we call it.
Oh my god, Roger's in trouble.
Yeah, that's probably what it sounds like.
He's fighting at least 3 things.
What do you guys do now?
I'm gonna, using the machete, I'd like to push the door open very, very slowly and peer inside as safely as I can, and do, if possible, perhaps, take a look and do a test of some kind.
You open the door a little bit, and you see what is almost certainly what was once a spreading but now quite a tacky pool of blood on the floor. If you push it open even further, you see the dining room table, and again, it's very dark. The details are indistinct, but how about you roll me another perception check?
Will do. Okay, so I'm gonna throw in an action dice in there. So
Holy smokes!
because why not?
Well, you got 6. That's what they're for.
Yeah. So action dice. An action point. When you spend an action point, you add an extra d20 to your test, so you can make it easier for you to succeed. And I need to roll under a 10. And I got a 5 and a 6, so I got 2 successes.
Boom. Okay, so you immediately zero in on a few things. I'm assuming nothing's going to leap out and bite your face. So you probably peek forward just a little bit, Edmund. You do notice, in fact, the body of a female ghoul. It's pretty easy to tell that it was at one point Teresa. She has been, no joke, eviscerated by something. Much of Teresa is spread across the kitchen. The steady dripping you heard was gobbets of, unfortunately, a flesh that were slowly dripping off the table. But with those 2 successes, you notice that amid the horror
Actually,
is
very, very, very fun fact about tag skills. It's actually 4 successes.
4?
Anytime you roll under your the threshold you're supposed to hit with attack skill, it counts as 2 successes.
So 2 successes equals 4. That is a lot of successes. I don't
That's a
even
lot
know
of
how to understand that. Though it
He
sounds
sees
like
everything.
I see a lot
He
of blood.
solved it. He
Clearly.
knows who's dead. Who
Yeah.
so
killed.
indeed.
I know who's
And
dead.
how.
Oh my god.
Let me give you some information in order of importance, a relative importance. So through a window just above the kitchen sink, directly across from you, you do see Roger, the completely normal. I'm gonna have to change your character name because I keep thinking I need to say
Isaac,
other
you're
things.
in for a treat later on.
I can't wait. You see Roger in Mortal Kombat with Gabe the Sprug, so you know he'll probably be okay. Looking past that, out this door, which is also slightly ajar, you see the barn, and at the barn you can see the front of the barn, and the front doors of the barn are also slightly ajar. But what you can tell from here even is that a glint in the moonlight shows you that there's a small thin chain apparently wrapped around the barn doors. And then lastly, the bit of information I want to give you is that on the table amidst the gore is a creature that all of you have encountered at some point in your time in the Wasteland, and that creature is unclickable. So I will apparently struggle to grab that creature for
What
the
is it
rest
called?
of the night.
Is it a rat roach?
It is a bloatfly.
Oh no!
I'll go ahead and blow it up so you guys can see it in all of its hideous details. It is not the size of the house.
Ew. Oh my god!
How did we not see this?
I am greatly uncomfortable.
Well, no joke. These things are like the size of a big. You know, they're probably the size of a completely normal human named Roger's fist. They are horrifying, and you know what? This is common knowledge of the Wasteland. You guys know that they actually prefer to attack from a distance. Anyway, at this point, because you were so careful, Edmund, and because your senses were so sharp, it might be noticing you at about the same time you're noticing it, but it's not going to like run out and surprise you, and you might have a chance to act. What would Edmund do in this situation?
Ooh, Edmund doesn't like bloatflies, so he'd probably take a chop at it.
Okay, so
Is he saying that?
out loud. Oh, Edmund doesn't like bloatflies.
The bloatfly hears you and reacts accordingly. This would initiate combat. Now, what's interesting about initiative in this system is that the thing or person that initiates combat basically just attacks, gives themselves a free round. So there's a lot of reasons to be the attacker and not the attackee. You're the attacker. What do you do?
I'm going to chop away at that thing with a machete. So that means that is a is that strength?
Yes.
For close combat.
Melee weapons use strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give myself an action point.
You know what? It's just occurring to me. So you were right on the edge, right here, probably as you pushed the door open.
Okay.
This system uses zones, much like a previous system that we're quite comfortable with. So each of these rooms, the kitchen, the living room over here, which you guys can't see, so I shouldn't.
Oh, it's the living room. Okay.
Basically, each room will be treated like a zone. So technically, you're right on the edge of one zone. You'll have to cross into the kitchen zone to get to the bloatfly.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Do it, Nico. Go into the kitchen zone.
Who's Nico? I'm Edmund. Hi-da! Hi-da! And okay, so I'm gonna give myself an extra dice. So we're back down to 5 action points. And I'm going to add my melee weapon to my strength, so I need 6s. It's a bad idea. I'm not very good at these, but let's see what I can do.
Oh, you're rolling a few.
I fail all of them.
Every last one?
Yep, I got 10 and higher.
Okay. So you step into the room quietly and then unleash your fury. Your machete digs into pieces of Teresa and her old kitchen table. The bloatfly is unaffected. Now we go to initiative. What we do is we add up a couple of statistics, which I will bring up in a moment here.
So yeah, it looks like we're going to be listing all the characters in order of their initiative stat from highest to lowest.
My initiative is 10.
Geraldine's is 12.
13.
13 as well.
Between the two of you, Edmund, you're closest. I would suggest that you probably go first, but whatever works between the two of you.
Yeah. I mean, no, Poppy can go first because springs to action. Hopefully.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna need a walkthrough on an attack.
Cool. What are you attacking with?
My baton. We're gonna baseball bat it.
Okay.
Just slug it.
Like I'm at the kid with the little T-ball, and that's what we're going for.
Cool. Okay, so you're choosing a weapon you were wielding. You choose your target. All of those things are obvious. You can also
Kaleidoscope
choose
baton.
Oh, okay, that's fancy.
It snaps out.
It snaps out.
Also choose where you're aiming. So just like the VAT system in the Fallout games. Now what this does is it increases the difficulty by 1, but if you deal 5 damage or more to a certain body part, that's considered a critical hit, and pretty terrible things happen at that point. Legs can be broken, torsos can be bleeding out, you can be stunned, those sorts of things if you take a headshot. Are you willing to take the risk, or do you just want to swing?
I just want to swing.
Swing away. So what it's going to be is your melee plus it's going to be strength plus melee weapons. You roll those together, or actually you add those together to find your target number, and then you're going to roll 2d20 and see how many successes you get.
Okay, so strength plus melee, so that's 7, and then it's I want low?
Yeah, so you roll 2d20, and you can, if you want, before you roll, you can spend an action point to add a dice.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. So
I'm rolling 18-year-old dice here. I just have to let you all know. It's been a while.
Goodness, they can vote.
So I have 7 rolling, and then I'm looking for low, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Under 7.
And if it's a tie?
Yeah,
under
that's
7.
good too, yeah.
Success, yep.
So
Yeah.
1 success.
Okay, cool. What's the damage? How many damage dice do you roll for your baton?
It'll be, it'll say like a number
I
and
have
then
damage rating of 3.
Awesome.
So is that 3d6?
So it's going to be 3d6? Yep, you bet.
Okay, I have better luck with these ones. I got a 4, a 6, and a 2. Add them all up?
Nope. Pull the 3s and the 4s out. They count as nothing. And
Okay, 6 and 2.
Then we're going to look more closely at those other two. So
2 is 2
numbers,
damage.
Yep, 2 is 2 damage. And the high numbers, 5s and 6s, activate special properties of the weapon itself, potentially. Are there any special properties of your baton?
No. It does physical damage, and that's it.
Okay, cool. Then nothing
But 2
special.
damage.
So 2 damage, but also the 5 and the 6 also count as 1 damage plus the activation of the special ability. So that's going to be 3 damage in total. Also, I need you to roll me a d20 because you're going to hit some random part of this bloatfly's body.
Yeah. 12.
12
Right arm.
is... Oh, thank you, Franco.
Mm-hmm.
Right arm, which I guess is going to be right wing for this creature,
nice.
potentially. So you deal 3 damage to the bloatfly. Your baton crushes one of its wings, doesn't destroy it. It hasn't even had the chance to take off, so it's on the table. Does any of this matter? Am I just flat out dead?
I grind the wing into the table with my baton.
Just whack.
Oh, okay. So technically, total metagame knowledge that I will rarely share, but in this case, guys, the bloatfly does have 6 HP. It should still survive. Having said that, it's also got a special ability called Little. Being smaller than most characters, its HP decreases. Who cares about that? Further, it is slain by any hit which inflicts an injury. You kill the bloatfly.
Hey!
Can I describe it?
Nice.
Please do.
So, I burst into the room wildly trying to take a shot at this bloatfly after, really cool, extending my baton because I'm a badass. But the bloatfly's not even flying, so I just start smacking it to the table, and it kind of just gushers? It kind of just pops. And it just kind of the first hit it pops, and then the next hit it just kind of
You just spread it
across the table. And I get a little bit on my vault suit. I'm not happy
Gross.
about it.
I'm pretty sure I get an AP for having to listen to that. The combat is over, but the adventure has just begun. What do you guys do now?
Oh.
God damn it!
How's
Got it on me.
Oh,
Edmund,
good hit there, Poppy. That was some real fancy mashing.
I had to pick up after you.
What?
Geraldine, I think we got what was in here.
She'll come in. Is there anything? Do I hear anything from this other door as I pass by it?
This is the door in the front?
Yeah.
You hear nothing at all.
Okay, nothing at all.
And that door actually is closed.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Is it open? Can I open it?
You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
It's
Oh
open.
my god.
Are you break and entering?
Roll me a test. Success. The small adobe farmhouse is a wreck now that you guys are stepping in and looking around. In the living room, furniture has been overturned, and the floor is scattered with broken picture frames, simple jewelry, and blood-soaked farm tools. A slow, quiet, dripping sound draws a light to an archway leading to a quaint kitchen. We know why. On the wall, forget that. On the floor is an old ghoul woman wearing a bloody nightgown, her rotted skin falling away from her face in folds. A garden hoe is thrust through her sternum, impaling her to the wall. But even at a casual look, you guys can tell that it wasn't simply the garden hoe that did the damage to poor, I almost said Geraldine, to poor Teresa.
Oh, no.
Oh, good. No, what happened? You recognize the impaled ghoul, of course, as Teresa. Her eyes are frozen, wide with fear, and her chin is slumped towards her chest, and she is obviously not breathing.
Okay, Geraldine, I'll step inside the living room if I can do that.
Okay. I will. I should probably reveal some things, right? Let's go do that. Boop. And Geraldine, from the living room, you can see the open door into the bathroom and the open door into the bedroom, in fact. So I'll just reveal all of the above.
Hey, Questers, it's your not DM Dave here this week. Thank you for tuning into our Fallout mini-campaign. As you may know, we're taking a little bit of a mid-season break from Soulbound to mix things up. And thanks to Modifius Games, we're able to explore the Wastelands with the Fallout RPG. And if you're unfamiliar, this is probably most commonly known for the Fallout games made by Bethesda. They're kind of like these action RPGs that take place out in the wastelands of the United States. We were gifted a handful of digital copies of the Fallout Core Rulebook, and if you want to get a free copy, you can head over to the Fallout giveaway section of the show notes. If you want to go back and click on that and scroll down, you should be able to see the link there. Or if you want, you can head over to questward.com/Fallout giveaway for all the instructions on how to enter. As well, thanks to all of our patrons for keeping Questward running. We have a couple namesakes in this episode, Walton's Crossing and Gabe the Shrub? Something like that. Is named for Gabriel Walton, one of our big boss patrons over on Patreon. So thanks, Gabriel. I hope you don't mind being named for a pug and a town in a wasteland. Thank you very much. If you're interested in supporting the show and maybe being immortalized, you can head over to patreon.com and you can chip us a few bucks every month to help grow the show and, expand and pay for what we're already kind of taking care of. That is patreon.com/Questward. And as well, in regards to that, thank you everybody who signed up already. We actually just crossed our first big milestone for 25 patrons. So what we are actually able to do is we posted a bonus Soulbound episode on the page. So anyone who has access to the Patreon can go listen to it. It's a lost episode that we had recorded when we were getting started in Soulbound. And it's actually kind of fun because we were still kind of figuring things out. And this episode is a little bit of like, I guess I'll just say like it's a love letter to old Warhammer Fantasy tabletop. So it's pretty fun. As usual, thank you so much for listening, and welcome to all of the new listeners. It looks like we got some new folks over the last few weeks, so welcome to the show. And we're going to go through a few more episodes of Fallout, and then we're going to kick back into Soulbound. So thanks for listening, and take care. Okay, she'll look over, see the dead fly, and kind of look at all this mess, and just she'll kind of like keep her voice low, and it's like,
well, obviously the bloatfly didn't do this, so just keep an eye out.
Wow, kind of jumping conclusions here,
yeah,
Dave.
You're making big assumptions here, Dave.
Is Roger still just playing with the shrug?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
He definitely is.
Okay. Your relationship meters are filling as we speak.
Perfect.
Aw.
I'm gonna move
It's gonna be
to
your dog meat.
Nice, yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm gonna move over to that side of the kitchen, and I'm hoping that there's a window, or at least I'll peek my head out the door, and I'll look at the the mutant formerly known as Mutant. I was like, hey, super Matt,
Roger.
Roger, hey, Roger.
Hi, Roger. I've been here whole time.
Hey, there's the Sprug. Nice. Hey, are you seeing anything out here? Are you good?
Yes, dog.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess keep an eye on the Sprug.
You want I come in?
If you want to. I mean, I'm not your boss.
Okay, I come in.
Nervous laughter.
He like tries to bring the dog in with him. He probably like cups it and holds it close to his chest like a baby.
Yeah. Gabe the Sprug. He wiggles a lot in your grip, but not to escape. Simply to try to blanket you with more love if he can.
I accept his kisses.
You can feel free to walk inside if you like, and you take Gabe with you.
Absolutely.
Seeing Roger and with Gabe in tow, do we know if is Gabe their dog?
He is not. Gabe is the town's dog. There's a bridge named after him.
No man can own him.
Can you really own a dog?
Can you really own Gabe?
Gabe wanders, so he's not their dog specifically. No.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I did notice some chains on the barn. Maybe that probably has something to do with this, right?
I mean, maybe.
Yes.
Geraldine folds her arms, and well, if something's locked in there, I guess how would that relate to this person being killed? She's gonna start an investigation. I think. Can I investigate the body?
Absolutely, you can.
Especially that hoe.
But whoa, Dave, she's barely dead.
The hoe embedded in her chest.
Got it. Dave, and by Dave I mean Geraldine, and by Geraldine I mean Geraldine. Roll a perception plus either medicine, science, or survival. The difficulty is going to be quite low considering the extent of the injuries and what you have to work with.
Okay. I got a 3, and I needed an 8. Okay. It's also a tag skill, so I get 2 successes.
Indeed, you do. So the difficulty was only 1. Actually, technically, the difficulty was 0, but you could potentially have screwed it up by, I don't know, poking the wrong spot. Regardless, you notice a few things about Teresa. Her face and arms are badly bruised, so there's signs of quite the fierce struggle before she was eventually impaled and killed. You also notice that she wasn't just stabbed and or chopped. There's definitely signs that something quite explosive happened to her at some point, considering just how much of her is shattered. Does anyone else want to roll perception checks at all?
Yeah, I might do a perception survival and see what happened to.
Cool. Yeah, there's lots to look
Joseph.
at in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
can I let
Joseph's
the pug,
not there.
Can I let the pug take a look around and lead me to the next clue?
Nice. Yeah, you put Gabe down. Gabe immediately turns around and puts his paws on you. But if you just stand there, Gabe eventually starts looking around and sniffing the ground. He heads straight for all of the bits of flesh, unfortunately. What do you do?
No.
Gabe, go find killer.
Gabe freezes just for a moment, looks at you, and then heads back for the bits of flesh.
Good boy.
Okay. So while this is happening, Edmund, you're looking around the room. There's plenty to see in the house. Definite crime scene. Feel free to roll me whatever sort of perception roll you think works best.
I'd like to do a survival if possible.
Yep, sold.
Okay.
While you roll that, Gabe, he approaches the flesh, fortunately doesn't start eating anything, and sniffs and sniffs and sniffs, and he'll do that for the foreseeable future. What do we got for... okay, first of all, Edmund, what was your target number?
My target number was 11, and
great.
I got a 15 and a 7, so I got one of those.
Is this a tag skill?
It is a tag skill, yes.
You
so
guys
2
with
successes.
your darned tag skills. So you'll forever have 6 action points, as far as I can tell. We got to get you guys into a fight that'll last forever. A Deathclaw is in the bedroom. Funny jokes. Edmund, the shattered picture frames have all had the photos removed. The photos are not in the room.
The photos are not in the room.
Beyond that, a trail of bloody footsteps leads from the living room, through the kitchen, and out the back door.
There's a trail of bloody footprints.
No, go ahead. The shape
sorry.
of the imprints suggests they were left by someone not wearing shoes.
They weren't wearing shoes.
And because you rolled so well, beneath the counter with the overturned drawer is a large gun rack. However, the gun rack is empty, and whatever weapon the rack held is missing.
The gun rack's empty.
Poppy, what are you up to
Yes?
while all these shenanigans are happening?
Poppy walked over to whatever sink or kitchen, wherever there might be a clean towel, and she's just trying to clean the bloatfly guts off of herself.
Cool. Yeah, there is a relatively clean-ish tea towel, folded neatly.
With a little embroidered
next to the
flower
sink.
on it.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Monogram's
Well,
name, his and hers.
Oh.
It's now covered in bloatfly gut.
Oh.
Who knows how words are formed? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so you're cleaning yourself up. Back to Geraldine. I think I've kind of forgotten what you were up to. Oh, you're in the living room. What are you doing?
No, well, so she moved over to the body and was investigating the body.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'd like to know, or rather, Geraldine would like to know. I think she vocalizes like, any eyes on Joseph? And I'd like to also roll any kind of like social knowledge. Like, do I know anything about Joseph? Like, is this potentially him doing this, or does he have any kind of like descriptor traits knowledge, anything like that I could maybe use here?
Sure. I do worry that I missed some key information earlier. Joseph and not Geraldine, Joseph and Teresa are also ghouls.
Okay.
So there's that much.
No, you mentioned that. You mentioned that
good,
Teresa was a ghoul, yeah.
Okay, great. Yep, they're both ghouls. Considering you did spend some time in the living room, Geraldine. Oh, by the way, at some point I'm assuming that somebody would flick the lights on. They turn on just fine. So power isn't a problem. Geraldine, from looking from the living room into the bedroom and the bathroom, there's no sign of Joseph. But in the bedroom, it's just as messy as much of the rest of the house. You notice that the closet contains many empty hangers, and only the women's clothing and shoes are within. There's no stereotypically male clothing in the room. Beyond that, you also find a heart-shaped tin locket laying on one of the pillows. What do you do?
Interesting. Well, I'm going to take a look at that locket for sure. Geraldine's kind of working off a theory like Joseph is missing, Teresa's dead, his items are missing. Relationship gone bad, maybe.
Geraldine's the town gossip, so if there's a divorce in the making, she'd know, wouldn't she?
Could I maybe like do a roll like to see if I've heard them having any issues or anything like that? Like,
absolutely.
Okay.
If anybody would know, it'd be you, Geraldine.
Maybe speech charisma or anything like that?
I don't think it's speech. Like charisma, almost certainly, because it's what you've learned in the past. Do you know what? No, this is like you remembering knowledge that you've gained from that skill. This might be a mistake, but yeah, go ahead and roll a charisma plus a speech.
I'm going to use an action point, and that's going to give me an extra d20, right?
Yep. So 3 d20s is what you're rolling. The difficulty of this is going to be just 1.
Okay. Well, I got a 9, and my charisma alone is 9, so I got 2.
Success. 6 action points now and forever. What you know about Joseph and Teresa is that they're generally well liked. They're an older couple and have been together for quite a long time. They've been in Walton's Crossing since it was founded, so they've got a bit of history here. And what you do know, just remembering, is that nobody's seen Joseph for a few days. Geraldine's been making the trips into town, and you didn't think much of it.
You mean Teresa's making her
No, it's you doing the grocery runs for them because you're very nice. I don't know when that's not going to happen. I do mean Teresa. She's been making the trips into town, and you haven't yourself seen Joseph for a couple of days, but honestly, just a normal couple and no real problems that you can think of.
Okay.
Whoa, except for that motorbike.
Someone really cool went by.
Joseph making getaway.
What do I see with the locket that you described before? I'll pick it up and take a look.
Yeah, it's quite a simple tin locket, nothing fancy. You open it up. There are, of course, 2 photos in it. One is Joseph himself with a very goofy grin. The photo in the other frame has been scratched by a sharp object and is completely unrecognizable.
I'll call over Poppy and Edmund and kind of like leave the door open for Roger to join, but we'll see if he feels like it.
The person who enters the room first is, of course, Gabe the Sprug. Puts his now bloody paws up on your legs.
Edmund, or no, sorry,
Edmund.
Roger, please, can you play with the dog?
No, wait, look, game making breakthrough.
Wonderful. So working theory here. Husband missing, wife murdered, his thing's gone, scratched locket. We gotta find Joseph, right?
Yeah.
As if on cue, there's a loud, sharp crack from outside. Most definitely, a gunpowder weapon has been fired from the direction of the barn. It shocks all of you.
Towards us?
Oh my goodness!
You don't notice anything in or around the house exploding, so you would suspect that it just happened, but it wasn't aimed your way.
Oh. I'm going to put my machete away and take out my rifle. I think I came from the barn. I'm going to start kind of shuffling around towards the...
Aimlessly, just shuffling.
Someone's out there.
Dragging your feet.
So you get like shuffling on the spot.
I just stop, put it away, and go, must have been the wind.
Gabe, the Sprug, does not enjoy the sound one bit. He bolts for the door.
Oh.
No, Gabe, come back.
Wait,
Not
Roger.
safe. I bolt after him.
You're kind of going into Arnold there a little bit too. Like,
I'm cool with that. I'm just going to let it roll.
Okay, Gabe is going to... he heads for the north door, heading towards the sound as every smart pug would. I mean, Sprug, sorry. He pushes the door open, unless it was left open by somebody, which is probably likely at this point, considering that the last person who came in was a completely normal human being. And he runs outside. What do you guys do?
Chase the dog. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Feel free to move your characters on the map. The barn itself is fairly modest for big farm standards, but this isn't a large farm. You know that Joseph and Teresa, definitely not Geraldine. Oh, I'm learning. They have a Brahmin that usually lives in the barn.
okay.
And you guys are heading towards it.
Brahmins being like weird cows, right?
Apologies, yes. Future irradiated cows with 2 heads.
Ooh,
Oh my.
fun cows.
They're disgusting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of looking at them in those games. Or this world, I mean.
The left head is Poppy's favorite head. That's one she gives the pets.
DM, can I take a look at those bloody tracks leading outside? Do they go to like in any particular direction?
They head straight for the barn. In the moonlight, right, also the sun's gone now. In the moonlight, you can definitely see that they head basically straight for the barn.
Okay.
Okay, Edmund's gonna... Is just another question real quick. The distance from the house to the barn, is it within medium range, would you say?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's basically one zone is the exterior, the outside, between the two. So the next zone would be basically where mutant, super is standing. That would be the start of the next zone.
Okay.
Sorry, I think you cut out for a second there. Which character?
Yeah, I heard something weird. You think he
I
said
heard
Roger?
I don't think there's
Yeah.
a mutant.
Oh, super, mutant.
Who's that?
Mutant super.
He went static again.
Isaac, you keep cutting out.
Kevin?
Not on my side. I can hear him fine.
So
We're doing
well,
it. We're doing it.
Roger,
Yeah.
Roger it is. Roger, you enter the next zone, hot on the heels of Gabe the Sprug. Most pugs...
I hate you all.
Understandable. 100% understandable. Gabe should be faster than this, but being not only a pug, but also irradiated and extra ugly,
Aw.
he can barely stay ahead of you, but he does so. He's heading right for the barn door. What do you do, Roger?
I follow him. He definitely knows what's going on.
Yes,
The pug
he
is
does.
the key to all of this. Yeah.
Okay, the three of you left at or near the house. What do you do? Are you just holding your course?
Yeah, I think Geraldine would have her revolver out. Is there any? I am concerned about where that shot came from. Can I do a perception to see if I can? Like, is there anyone like hiding outside or anything like that? Or
You can absolutely do a perception check. I would. Always a good idea.
I guess. What skill would I be looking at?
Probably survival, but honestly, I'm about 50-50 on whether or not that's true. You guys can always feel free to suggest different combinations, and we can have that chat.
Science.
Okay, you can do the bullet's trajectory with science, probably. I'll do survival endurance. I'll try that. You get below an 8. I did not.
Cool.
Survival endurance?
Sorry, survival perception, I meant to say.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, but I also didn't get that, so.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, you come outside. The gunshot has well, maybe it's just the ringing in your ears, but it's more or less gone away as far as you can tell. And all the things that are moving and making noise is a normal human being wearing clothes that fit and a mutated pug.
Okay. Geraldine will follow behind, favoring. Is there any windows on the side of the barn or anything, or is it just like
there are, but they're actually a little bit high up and very small, meant for just decoration more than anything else.
Okay,
right?
How high up are we looking? Like,
oh, you want me to roll some dice?
Sure, always.
I'm ignoring those. 12 feet.
Okay, Roger, would you give me a boost for a second here, please?
Yes, Geraldine. I give boost.
Geraldine.
You added like a little like sound in there too, a little like phlegminess. That was
He's gonna throw you onto the roof.
Yeah, so just a boost up here, if you wouldn't mind.
Caver toss.
Are you willing to abandon Gabe the Sprug, who is struggling to squish his dumb body into the slightly ajar door?
I wouldn't call it abandoning, but yes.
So what do you? Oh, okay. So you guys can all see that at the front of the barn, well, actually, where are you all? So Geraldine, you moved to the side. The only one who could really see this very well is potentially Poppy. I suppose Edmund. So I tell you what, Roger, Poppy, and Edmund, why don't you guys make me a reactionary perception check? We'll do a perception survival. Geraldine, you're waiting impatiently. Gabe is trying his darndest to get inside the barn. He's making a lot of noise, I might add.
I got a crit success because I rolled a 1.
Nice. That counts as 2 successes.
Hell yeah.
You guys,
I got a 1 success.
Everything's too easy for this group. Or maybe we got to stop rolling just perception checks for everything. Maybe that would help. Okay, you guys obviously refill your action points as always. The 2 success folks, I believe there were 2 of you. You guys notice that the chain that's looped around the handles for the large front doors, it's barely looped around. It will keep nothing in, and in fact, as Gabe shoves his pudgy little body against the door and rattles it, the chain starts to unravel itself and fall to the ground, and the door will soon be perfectly openable with no effort whatsoever. Mutant Super, I'm most interested in knowing what you do with that information, if anything, as Geraldine waits impatiently around the side of the barn.
She's arms are crossed and tapping a foot on the wet soil.
So wait, just to paint the picture, Geraldine wants me to put her onto the roof?
No, there's windows about 12 feet up, so she just wants to be able to look inside before we open the doors.
Okay. Roger opens the doors for the dog.
Roger.
He opens the door for the dog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You reach out.
As you
fine.
do it.
I'm going to go ahead and move you forward. You reach out, toss the chain off. It's pretty much going to do its own job anyway. Push the door, or I guess give it a little pull because it's almost certainly a door that opens outwards. So you pull it towards yourself. The dog rushes in, and let's hope he survives the shotgun blast that immediately rings out.
Oh no!
Whoa!
Oh no!
Yeah. So Gabe the Sprug is definitely going to take some damage. Now, as we know,
you monster!
Fortunately, he's wearing a ton of armor. That was why.
The folds are deflective. Yeah,
Folds deflective.
Mutated folds.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Gabe the Sprug takes a body full of pellets, screams in pain, yelping, and begins running definitely away from the source of the shot. Let's go ahead and roll right into initiative, folks.
Man, it's a good thing that Gabe the Sprug has like scales and stuff, right?
Well, if you know what? Yes,
Okay.
he's alive.
No! What kind of monster do this?
So let's start with the high initiatives. Poppy and Edmund, you guys have 13, which is definitely going to be faster than Everybody
10.
else. Gotcha. Geraldine is 12. Wait.
Yep.
Poppy, did you say your initiative is 10?
No, I meant higher than 10. I was just being a shithead.
Nice.
Oh!
I'm the slowest, I think, is the implication there.
13
Success.
is higher than 10 is what I was trying to say.
Okay. Okay. So, Poppy and Edmund, you are once again up to bat after this shot rings out. What do you do?
Oh. I'll let you go first.
Poppy's got baton in one hand and her 10 millimeter in the other, and just kind of like looks at Edmund and goes and like gestures at him.
just looks at him silently.
Okay, are you both delaying then? I think you both look at each other, and we're gonna move on to Gabe. Gabe the Shrug runs away. He is never to be seen again. I won't describe the scene because it's so sad, but he is booking it and finds himself well over here in this field by the time his turn ends. It is the saddest thing that will happen this session, I hope.
Yeah.
Poppy and Edmund, did you guys want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm going to start moving to the kind of circumnavigate the barn and to get a look inside of the door kind of thing. So like I still want to be at an angle, but I want to be able to peer inside the barn, but still be like at a bit of a distance. I assume I know that was a shotgun blast.
Yes.
Okay. Well, see, with my bright mind, I'm gonna try and get out of the blast zone. So I'm gonna walk around to the side, and I want to peer inside the barn, gun drawn and sighted.
I probably gave you that information too readily, but let's just assume that you're particularly knowledgeable of shotguns. Yeah, it all makes really good sense. You start moving around. Now, the door is only slightly open because Gabe forced himself in. Roger is literally holding it open right now, I might add. Just standing there on the other side of the door. So you will have to move a little bit further to be able to see inside. Are you willing to?
Yes, I am. I'm going to move.
You see inside pretty clearly a ghoul.
A
ghoul
ghoul?
wearing a lot of clothes. A ghoul wearing a lot of clothes and pointing a shotgun in your general direction, almost trembling and looking up at you with a crazed look in his eye. And he's mumbling to himself, "I didn't know her. I don't know. Who are you?"
Hi, hey, friend. You want to put your gun down?
He doesn't directly answer you, but you're sure by the body language that's a clear no.
That's going to be it.
Up next is Poppy.
So Poppy's gonna move like up close to like just kind of in between the barn, like right like a little bit behind the not mutant Roger, but in between the barn and Edmund, and like kind of lean in and look in, and I assume she's gonna see the ghoul as well.
Yeah, you definitely see who at this distance is almost certainly Joseph. His eyes are wild, his teeth are wide. That's a rude description. With a grimace. Drool spills down from the corner of his lips. He's wearing, as I mentioned before, several layers of shirts, sweaters, and jackets all over top of one another. In a different scenario, if he wasn't actually trying to kill creatures, this might be a kind of amusing. The bulk of his clothing causes his jerking movements to be slow and awkward. He's as he spots you, he says, "I don't know you either. Who are ya?" And he points his gun wildly in your direction as well.
Is he like, trying to avoid the baggage check fees, wear all his clothes when he gets on the plane? Sorry, that's just what I'm imagining.
He might be, yes.
Joseph, it's Poppy. Joseph, you know me, and your wife, not Geraldine, the other ghoul.
What?
Teresa.
You notice that he's squinting out at you, but the movement, I think you covered a couple of zones. I think that's probably your turn, unless you want to roll something. Are you trying to convince him of anything, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to convince him to put the gun down. Joseph, I need you to put the gun down. You shot Gabe.
Charisma plus speech, please.
I am not a diplomat
dice
anymore. I need to remember that. Oh, please give me low.
Yeah, nope. So the difficulty is in mind, I do promise.
Nope.
Okay.
No successes. I failed.
Okay. And you get the reaction that you expect, which is just more crazy mutterings. Geraldine.
Yeah. Okay. So Geraldine, kind of hearing what's going on. So she knows it's Joseph based on the conversation.
Yes, and the voice, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna come around to the front. She is actually gonna holster her weapon, hands out. She's gonna actually expose herself to this potential attack.
Joseph, we're here to help. We're not here to hurt you. If you could just trust us, calm down. We want to talk things through. We don't want to hurt you, okay?
And I want to do a speech charisma.
Yep, sounds good. I've got the DC in mind. I mean TN.
Cool.
I mean difficulty.
Yep,
we're getting there.
I want to spend 2 action points on this.
Okay. I tell you what. Why don't you, as you come around the corner, I'll give you a free, if you're trained in it, a free perception science rule. Or perception medicine. Apologies.
Perception medicine. She's got 2 ranks in medicine.
Yeah, roll it up.
Yeah. So I'm rolling medicine?
Yeah, I'll give you a free one of those.
Okay. Yes. 2 successes.
Okay, cool. So the body language, the look in his eyes, the words he's saying as you come in, his words are spilling over each other, and he just keeps saying, "I didn't know her, and I don't know you." His hands are trembling. Drool is escaping his lips. His eyes are completely crazed. He's definitely suffering some sort of psychotic break. So what you know is definitely that the difficulty of talking him down is going to be quite high.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to Geraldine, especially considering her state and everything with this lot in life.
Cool.
That's actually, I think, 4 successes.
Okay.
3, 7, 9, and 2. And then that is actually a tag skill for her. So each of those counts as 2 successes, total of 8.
8 successes. He's your best friend. You have his gun.
Wait, before we go further, I don't think that's correct. I think that...
No? Is it just plus 1 success?
Actually, so I think one of those is actually a plus 2 success. But when you set your TN with your skill and special characteristic, that is your TN. If you roll below your tag skill rank, that's when you get your double successes.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Dave, I think you rolled a 2 there, which does count as 2 successes.
Oh.
Well, so below the rank in that skill. So
Yes.
I got a 2 and a 3 actually. So both of those would be tag skill successes.
There you go. Okay,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
you had a
cool.
2
My
in
bad,
that skill,
yeah.
but
Cool,
yeah.
that makes sense. So then it'd be 6.
Cool.
That's good. That's good clarity. Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be probably really
Thanks,
easy
Franco.
to pop off extra successes.
Yeah. Good catch.
Yeah.
If you weren't already full, I'd give you an AP for that. Maybe we'll figure out some sort of pocket points system. But good call. I made a note. Okay, so 6 successes is more than the 4 I had earmarked for this. So, surprisingly, even to the DM, Joseph, his quivering stops just a little bit, and he slowly lowers the gun to point at the ground in front of you. His eyes are still wide, but he actually licks his lips as if he's noticing for the first time that he's actively drooling, and he looks you in the eye and he says, "Geraldine?"
Yeah, it's me, Joseph. It's gonna be okay.
So there's a tense moment as his turn comes up, in fact, and you can see his knuckles, thin and knobby, though they are growing even whiter as he squeezes this shotgun. He cracks open. Apparently, it's a pump action. No.
Break
What's
action?
it called? Yeah, you break it in half basically, and you pump the
Over his
shells
knee
in.
and
It breaks it. Yes,
throws
exactly.
it away.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
strong
he
is
opens
he?
it up as if he's going to load it, and he sort of absentmindedly reaches into a pocket and pulls out a shell, and then looks back up at you, and he says, "Oh God, what have I been doing?" And he drops the shell and drops the shotgun. "Geraldine, who am I?"
Joseph, you're Joseph.
Do I know his last name?
He doesn't have one.
Okay. Oh, he's like Cher.
Everyone calls him. Everyone calls these the Tarberries because they have the Tarberry farm. So you could call him a Joseph Tarberry. He'd answer
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Regardless, combat is over unless, of course, you intend to take this opportunity to attack.
Yeah, I'd like to walk in and punch him in the stomach.
Just
Cool.
obliterate.
It's now Roger's turn.
Yeah, Roger walks in and punches him in the stomach.
Is that funny? Yeah, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry to
Because he
make you
shot the
repeat yourself.
dog, I assume.
I just didn't believe you.
Yeah, no, that's what he does.
Okay, so you can
Oh,
walk
man.
in.
You heard, Gabe.
As you walk in, Joseph looks up at you. He's startled, You, Geraldine, watching carefully, you notice that his eyes definitely look towards the gun, which is probably a reasonable a reaction regardless. Roger walks past you and winds up with his ham-sized fists and does the thing.
He winds up ready to strike.
Can it's not my turn. I can't do anything, right?
I mean, he's walking right past you, so as long as you don't call me on this as a bad precedent for the future, I think it's totally reasonable that you could essentially throw yourself at his bicep.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, your attack
just
targets
try and grab
Geraldine instead. Jokes.
that would be preferable, honestly. She would if that was what it would take. Yeah.
No need at this point. But he is striding past you, obviously arm cocked, chin thrust forward. And how do you try to arrest his action?
So I think she'll try and basically swing both arms around like this meaty green arm and try and hold it back and says like, Roger, we're good. No punch.
But Gabe.
He good now. Everything good. Everything is good.
Roger,
okay.
Make me a quick perception check. Perception survival test, sorry.
Sure.
Roll 2d20s.
Perception survival. 3 and a 4. Oh, man, I'm good at this. I actually got 3 successes on that. Because
two
survival's tag.
Nice. Yeah, 2. Okay, multiple successes, more than enough to see just past Joseph. The map doesn't do it justice, but there is in fact a Brahmin body laying there, definitely bleeding out, and it has been obviously wounded quite recently. As if on cue, as Geraldine throws herself at your arm to stop you from punching him, you guys have that quick discussion. Your eyes fall on this suffering creature behind Joseph.
No, left head.
Wait, so it is. Sorry, it's dead or it's dying?
It's hard
dying.
to say actually.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
You hurt cow too?
Joseph swings around, looks at the Brahmin, looks back at you and says, "I don't remember."
Roger looks at Geraldine and then at the cow and then at Geraldine and then at Roger. Or sorry, he looks at himself.
He looks at his hair.
And then looks back to Joseph.
I think I might have, but I didn't recognize it either.
Poppy, do you want to take a look and see if you can do anything for it?
Yep. Poppy walks over, and I guess this would medicine. I mean, I have science, medicine, science, probably medicine.
Pretty much for sure medicine, unless you're just trying to identify. Yeah, it's pretty much for sure medicine. Like, what are you trying to do, I guess, is a better question.
Seeing if it's dead.
You know what? We can just perceive that if it's better for you just to look at it.
And then if it's still alive, see if there's anything we can do.
Okay. Yeah. For perception it for me. I'm going to default to perception survival as you walk in and get close to it. Even just looking at it should give you an idea.
You could do medicine or science too, right?
Am I doing perception survival just tell if it's dead or alive?
Correct.
Okay.
As you run up.
It's going to be great if it's actually dead and I think it's alive. Well, I failed. It's alive!
Okay, well, as you run up to it, it does appear to be completely still.
Oh, okay. And I yell out it's
there's
alive.
no sign that it's alive or dead at this point, yeah.
I don't know! Can I roll again to, medicine, just to see if there's anything I can do?
Yep, totally. You get to the Brahmin now, and you're putting hands on it, I assume.
Yes. Oh, medicine is with intelligence. Okay, maybe... Wait. Yes, okay. I have high intelligence. But 2 successes.
Okay,
I rolled a 1. What does that mean?
It's 2 successes.
That's 2 successes. And,
3 successes.
Okay. Do you have any equipment? So you quickly ascertain that it is barely alive. There is a pulse. It is very weak. The creature is dying and bleeding out from what is obvious to you, a shotgun blast. Center mass.
Is it the Brahmin? Is it important to us at our little establishment?
Brahmin are
source of
expensive.
milk and food and
I guess so.
labor. I mean, yeah.
And the left head looks up at you.
I got a stim pack and some. Stim pack. I don't know if that. I just put my hands on the bloody spot and try to stop it.
Okay, 3 successes is pretty solid. As long as you've got some sort of materials that you're willing to spend, you can try to staunch the flow of blood and give it a chance. Do you do so?
She takes off her lab coat and starts to pack it into the wound.
Okay. Yeah, it'll hopefully do the trick for a short time. Meanwhile, back at the insane person with the shotgun nearby, what are you guys doing?
I think what Geraldine would like to do is try and wave Edmund over and kind of like do like the look at him, look down at the shotgun on the ground, and kind of
yeah. Just gonna.
And then in the meantime, she's gonna try and kind of turn Joseph away just to make sure he's not going to go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flinches ever so slightly as you touch him, but then almost settles into it, and he's just shaking his head and muttering, and his whole body is shaking. I don't know what's happening to me.
It's okay, Joseph. Has anyone else been here recently?
He looks at you, and his expression is blank. It tells you everything you need to know. He can't answer your question.
Yeah, okay.
Is there anything else you guys want to do while we're at the Tarberry Farm? Or are you willing to let me slowly dim the lights on this scene?
Give us a fade to black.
Undim them just very briefly. No, all things considered, like the impact on Teresa, safe to assume that's a shotgun-based explosion?
Pretty much for sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then she mutters,
War never changes.
Perfect.
And then it fades to black.
You can reach out and dim the lights.
And the lights come back. Who you speak to?